Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a Lively Legz Prince Nymph. The hook I have in the vise is a 5262. It's a size 12, not a size 8. And this is from Green Caddis Outfitters, greencaddis.com. It is a 2 extra long nymph hook. We're going to start with, I have a 3mm bead on there. I'm going to add a little more weight to it. I'm going to use 25 thousandths lead wire. You can use lead-free wire. And we're just going to wrap the thorax. Give it about 8 wraps, I guess, there. Push that lead up into the bead. And then you can take off the rear section. That little piece will just fold over. I'm going to use black thread, and this is 70 denier. This is 6 or 8/0. I'm going to start the thread behind the lead wraps. I'm going to push those lead wraps up into the bead with the thread. Come back over them. And then put a base of thread back to where it would hang at the barb. Prince Nymph is a good nymph, all-around nymph. And adding the Lively Legz to it will make it even more deadly. I'm going to start with the tail, and for the tail I'm going to use tan Goose Biots. Just fold them, and then I take 2 of them and just pull them right off. We're going to take those Goose Biots and use that natural curve to help split them. So this curve I'm going to put, the curve has to be on the outside. I'm going to put this on my side. Going to take the other one. Take that natural curve and put that on the outside. And we have a split tail. I'm going to go ahead and secure them. I'm going to build up a little bit so I have a taper instead of a step there at the weight. There we go, and I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to tie in a rib. For the rib, I'm going to use a piece of fine copper wire. This just happens to be a little bit of a red tone. You can use regular copper wire or whatever color you'd like. That came out on me, I pulled it. Yeah, we'll get that secured. Now for the body, I'm going to take a pair of Peacock Herl. I'm going to tie them in. I put the tag right to the lead wire, and that'll help build up that body, the abdomen, so that we don't have a step. Now I'm going to take my Lively leg, and it has a big tab there on the front. I'm going to cut a little bit of that off right off the beginning here. Keep just a little bit. I want those legs to go right up to that bead. I'm going to go ahead and tie them in. And of course you want to keep them on the top. And secure them. Now I'm not going to use all 3 legs here, so I'm going to trim off the back set of legs. I'm going to grab that back tab and cut those off. Put them on the side. And then I'm going to secure these legs a little better. Now we're going to take our Peacock Herl and we're going to wrap that. we're going to wrap all the way up to the bead, or at least to the front, in front of the back legs. Get around those legs, you got to kind of maneuver that around a little bit. Bring that up in front, and I'm going to tie those off. And then we can remove the excess. Now we're going to take our copper wire. We're going to counter wrap this, being the opposite direction we wrapped the Peacock Herl. I'm going to bring that right up to the bead also. I'm going to just helicopter that off. Now I'm going to take a red hackle. I'm going to tie this in by the front because I don't have a lot of room up there, and the hackle stem is a lot lighter on the tip. We'll go ahead and get rid of that excess. We're going to take our hackle and we're going to give that a few wraps. The hackle is meant to represent legs, but we're going to keep it in there, and we're going to tie that off. Put a couple of wraps in front, and then we'll remove that excess. And now for our wings, we're going to use white Goose Biot. I'm going to take 2. And when you pull them off one next to the other, they're going to be the same length. I'm going to cut that twist off them. And now we're going to use that natural curve to make sure that it curves down onto the back. We want these to be as long as the body. I'm going to hold that in place. Take the next one, put that in place. And when you tie these Goose Biots in, you want to tie them in so they make an X pattern. Just like so. I'm going to fold up that, put a couple of wraps right in front of them. And trim away that excess. And now we got all of that thread up front, so what we're going to do is put a little pinch of dubbing on there. Doesn't really matter what kind of dubbing it is. I'm going to use this mahogany to try to match the hackle there a little bit And this is just some little bit of crystal dub. Just want a small amount, just enough to cover up that thread. Going to take my whip finish. Pull that tight, and we're going to trim that. Now I'm going to take my head cement and put a drop of head cement on the bead and let that roll down into the threads. And here we have a Lively Legz Prince Nymph. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.